And that's why the angel sits on top of the Christmas tree. Oh, I gotta go. Sorry. Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Hey, what's up, Skullwalker here with Imagination Creation Films, and today it is Friday, March the 17th, 2023, which means it's time for another adorable live stream from yours truly. Well, I mean, adorable is from, well, if I could, this guy right here, he's the adorable, and I am the operator of the live stream. Hello, everyone. How are you doing? It is another wonderful day. I wasn't sure if I was going to do a live stream today, and then just like magically, I was like, you're doing a live stream today. I was like, okay, I'll do one. My table's not straight. That is so irritating. I don't like that. I'll push that away. That's not helping it, is it? Interesting. So how is everyone doing? I hope you are all wonderful and having a wonderful Friday, and you're getting ready for the weekend, and you're getting ready for all the fun and cool things that are going to happen, because Friday, I mean, it's the magical day that ends in Y, where everybody is like, the week is over, and then it starts again, like immediately on Saturday, for those of us in the film industry. And for everybody else, they're like, oh, I get a day off. And then they realize they have to go mow the grass, they get the oil changed, and, you know, all the fun things. So it's a good day. It's a good day. I'm happy. We got puppy cam going. We got all 3.5 cameras going. I got the overhead is recharging. I don't know why it decided to kill off its battery, but it did. So it is that. So we've got Dylan. Hey, Dylan, how are you? I won't have much time to chat, but it's definitely want to tune in on this episode because I have a couple of quick questions. Well, post your questions, Dylan. Let's get those questions answered. I'll be able to stay for 1 hour before I have to go to work. Are you saying that I'm a little long-winded and might get on a tangent and talk for hours upon hours before I actually get to your answer? Is that what you're saying? Or, yeah, rock on. King says, Scott has the answer and solutions. I don't know about that. Oh, I did answer that. I said, I guess I do have the answers. King says, fire, fire, fire. Justin says, just got here, looked at the last few chats, and I can also say I have no answers for anything. Well, I'm sure you do. Justin, how do you stay alive? Take a deep breath and let me know. See, I checked you. You already knew the answer. You were breathing the whole time. Tyler, hello, Tyler. See, this is irritating. I don't know why it's doing this. This is, This thing is showing up. It's not supposed to show up down here, and it's doing it, and it's I don't know why it's doing that. I've tried clipping it off, and now it's being a little pain in the rear. So, what's going on, everybody? I had a fun week and weekend, and did the South by Southwest, and had an enjoyable time. Had a really in-depth conversations with a lot of cool people. It was great networking. Heard some really good lectures. Heard some not good lectures. Heard some, like, why do you have a lecture hall lectures? But you know, it is what it is, and it's a variety of people. I forget that South by is not just filmmakers. It's now filmmakers, music, comedy, technology, other things. It's a lot of everything. I got beard drift all over the place. What is going on? Tyler says, I tried downloading that extension. It did not work. Oh, really? You have to use Chrome? It's working for me. It's just that silly little pop-up thing, which you'll see is like, as it scrolls down, it starts showing up. And basically, I don't know why, that's like the right mouse button is like permanently clicked, even though it's not. It's kind of weird. It should work. What didn't work on it? Justin says, as they taught me in school, air goes in and out and the blood goes round and round. Keep it that way. And food goes in here. Yes. King says, with Canon dropping prices, what are you choosing, Scott? C500 Mark II or Super 35 V-RAPTOR? Super 35 V-RAPTOR. And did y'all happen to notice the black version of the Super 35 V-RAPTOR is only $17,995? Oh, hello. Talk about a savings there. That's $1,500 cheaper. They managed to get that puppy cheap. Gotta love that. You watch, Tyler. I think the little pop-up thing will show up. Yep, there it is. There's the bottom of it. Mitchell. Hey, Mitchell. Haven't seen any one-to-one comparisons with the Aputure infinity bars and the Titan tubes. Any insights? Worthwhile to bundle them together as a key light. I have key lit. I was playing around with them, and I used the 2 4-footers and the 2-footers, and I built them in a rectangle, and I used it as a key light. It was quite competent as a key light, but it won't battle the sun. As far as comparisons, I have talked to a few people who directly one-on-one compared them, and it is, I think the correct way to describe it is it's plus or minus 3% as bright. The advantage, though, is that Aputure is putting all its light forward, whereas Titan is all around. And it just depends on what you need and what you're looking for. But, I mean, I would imagine that we're probably going to see a new Titan tube at some point. I would guess. I mean, you don't want to rest on your laurels too long, but for now, I think Aputure has a lot going for it. But that there's nothing wrong with the Titan tubes. I don't think anybody's going to throw out their Titan tubes and get the Aputures, but there might be a few gaffers that are going to refresh their gear locker a little bit and get the infinity bars. I know several gaffers who have Titan tubes and are buying a big, like 16 of the infinity bars. Sorry. And why they didn't use my affiliate link, I don't know, but you know, people are people. So that is the really. So that's just going to show up now. There we go. Let's see if I do that now. I have to click off of it. That's so weird. It's so weird. It's doing that. That thing needs an update. No, you see that? He just calls me right while I'm live streaming. He probably realized that. Oh, wait, I bet he's live streaming. So what is going on, everybody? How's work going? You got work planned out? I don't. I mean, I have some client jobs, just some regular in-house client jobs to do, but nothing big, nothing major until this summer. NAB is now less than a month away. Are you got your plans? Show of hands, who's going to be there? Wow, everybody just dumped off. That's just mean. Everybody, there was a whole bunch of people on, and they all was like, yeah, I'm not going to stick around. That's not good. How many of y'all are going to NAB? Show of hands. Put some. I'm going to be at NAB. Wow, all the questions come through at once. Dylan says, so my question is, I'm looking to purchase a drone. One of them films 5.1K H.265 HEVC. The other films at 5K ProRes H.2.2. Which codec format is better and why? Okay, so my opinion on this is you are obviously looking at the Mavic 3 and the Mavic 3 Cine. Am I right? And the truth is, the H.265 10-bit is so good that you don't really need ProRes. Why people like ProRes is because it was super easy to edit with. But ProRes is not an acquisition codec. It was never intended to be that. It was intended to be an editing or a proxy codec. So my opinion of it is unless your clients are physically requiring a drone delivery in ProRes, I'm going to buy the H.265 because I've seen footage side by side shooting in both of them, and I do not believe that you need the ProRes at all. That being said, if you are truly interested in the ProRes, I know someone that has a Mavic 3 Cine that is selling it. He upgraded to something completely different. But if you're interested, I can put you in touch with that person. They're selling it for a reasonable price. So yeah, if you're interested in that. So that is my take on that, because the bit rate is pretty high. I forget what the bit rate is on the H.265 on the Mavic 3, but I think it's like 200 megabits. It's a lot. And for 5K, that's a very efficient codec. It looks great, and you're not going to see any difference or much difference. Since I purchased, Justin says, since I purchased 7 of them last week, should I send them back and wait and see, or hope that Aputure will provide them at no cost? Your thoughts? Wait, did I miss something? Since I purchased 7 of them last week, should I send them back and wait and see, or hope that Aputure will provide them at no cost? Provide what at no cost? Not sure I understand the question. Kevin says, extremely dead here in Chicago. That's sad. What's your take on that, Kevin? Why do you think it's dead? I'm hearing it's dead everywhere, and I know with all the union strike possibles, a lot of people are not really taking on new work, but I don't know. Not all of that applies. Tyler says, I'll be there. Reach, what up, Scotty? What up, Scotty? No, Reach says, hi, Scotty B. I say, what's up, Reachy? Jeffy F. There we go. Only Saturday and Sunday, though. Oh, that's interesting. So you're only going to be there one day of the exhibit hall. Boy, your day's going to be packed. Saturday will be fun, though. Yes, correct. Both filmed. There we go. Hello, David. I don't know what she said there. Camille, hey, from the Netherlands. How are you? How are you doing? Yeah, Justin, what purchased 7 of them? I'm assuming you're... What is it doing here? Why is it... This is so irritating. This overlay was working perfectly last week. Pretty perfectly. And now it's like being a pain in the rear. Blood goes in and out. Yeah, what's 7 of them? Okay. Whoa. See, now, man, this thing's like behind because it keeps popping up. Yeah, I may not have seen the thread, Justin, because it's coming up really slowly here. Okay. You missed the thread about that. I don't see the thread. That's so weird. Let me switch it to top chat and then back to live chat. Oh, that's weird. That's really weird. Yeah, I don't see it. Justin, restate it. What glass set are you thinking to pair with S35? So the cool thing about the S35 is I get to use all of the glass that I have. Two of which my favorites are the Sigma 18-35 and the 50-100, which I will continue to use on V-RAPTOR Super 35. But I do plan on getting my original first plan was to buy the Sigmas, the Sigma Primes. But I am thinking now that my first PL purchases will either be the Cata Aces from DZO or the Vespid Primes. I was really impressed with them on the shoot that we did a month back, especially that zoom. That Canon Ace zoom was, yeah. Man, I don't know what's going on with it. I'm afraid. Man, it's okay. Hi Scott, what solution would you suggest to be able to use my Aputure 600D on a rainy day? That first cost $300. So I'm assuming you're talking about the regular 600D and not the Pro. Is that correct? If that's the case, I would use like a really big golf umbrella, or you can rig plastic over it, but you need to leave cooling space over it. So you think of an umbrella with plastic wrap, and then you're going to need to tape around the reflector. If you're doing an open face, you're going to need to extend that plastic out a little bit, but you don't need to spend a lot of money. I mean, any kind of plastic that you can get, pop a couple of C-stands up next to it with the arms out and tape plastic around it and then angle it back so that it drains off to the back. Just, be very, 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 very careful, because they are not water rated, which means there is a risk of shock. So you need to make sure you're using GFCI, be very cognizant of the electrical situations. Don't get yourself hurt. That would not be cool. Yes, if you can get me in contact with that person, it blows my mind how you know exactly which drone just for the specs. Well, I mean, it's kind of a photographic memory thing. But Dylan, email me at films@imaginationx.com, and I will put you in touch. Do I know the difference between the Blackmagic Design Ultimatte 12 HD Mini and the Ultimatte 12 HD? So I was literally just researching this one the other night for someone else and trying to remember if I remember correctly, it's almost like the ATEM Extreme versus the Mini Extreme versus the Mini. Pretty sure that it has the same capabilities, but you get like 3 times the amount of let's look it up. I literally just looked this up. Ultimatte. I love Ultimatte though. Ultimatte right there. Okay, so there's the Mini. That was cute. Okay, so then there's and you're looking for the Ultimatte HD. So that one, so we have 2 and then 5. So right off the bat, you got the 2 inputs versus the 5. They're both SDI. They both have the same data rates. They both have, it's literally just the difference is I'm thinking of the 4K was the one that had more, it has a lot more, but okay, it has data rates there, 1.5 and 3. Yeah, so the difference between the Mini and the HD are literally the number of inputs. So you get 2 versus 5. You have 2 inputs on the Mini and 5 inputs on the HD, but you also have 4 outputs, SDI outputs, and 1 loop through on the HD, and only 2 and 1 loop through on the Mini. But it's really cool. I mean, I love the smart remote. I cannot wait, honestly, for them to pack all of that into an ATEM Extreme and sell it for that one price, because I mean they're pretty nicely priced, the Ultimattes. Sorry, and I was literally just talking with Blackmagic at South by on Monday about that very thing. It's kind of cool. Okay, Dylan says, the main reason I wanted to ask is because I wanted to know if there was truly a noticeable difference in quality between the both of the formats. No. So, I mean, most of your with today's codecs and imagery, two things affect your ability to push the footage, in post, and then also have the highest quality, and that is bit rate and bit depth. So bit depth allows you to push colors far further because there's more colors there. So instead of 256 levels of red, green, and blue, there is 1,024. So there's a whole lot more color information, so you can tend to push things a little harder in post, which is typically what they were most interested in with ProRes. That it had a 10-bit bit depth, and then some of them even go up to 12-bit. Then bit rate is how much data so I have a picture with a lot of pixels, and I need to compress it, and I need to fit it into my data rate. So the higher the data rate, the more or the less compression, so to speak, or the more data that I can actually put natively in that bit stream. On top of that, now we go from H.264 to H.265. H.265 is about 50% more efficient of a codec than, it's a little more than 50, than H.264, meaning if you have 100 megabits of H.264 and you have 100 megabits of H.265, the H.265 is going to look better than the H.264, even if the bit depths are the same. So 100 is fairly okay. It's not the best, but it's nice. When you jump up to 200, which I think is what the Mavic 3 is, 220 like on these Sonys, it is a beautiful image, very, very, very usable. So yeah, that's why. Man, what in the world? Okay, I'm going to get through these here because they're piling up and it's not showing me this. So the surgery, which is why my trip will be short. Understandable. Can everyone see my posts? I don't see any posts covering what you originally asked. That's interesting. Did you post a link, Justin? If you post a link, it would not post. Yay, Rex. Cello screens for rain covers. Yep, there you go. Grip tips. Now I have to click down here and then, this is weird. Bit impression, hello there. Okay, Justin says, okay, there we go. Okay, so now I understand your question. Don't return them. Keep them. On the Facebook boards, there's talk of a new support systems for the F21 and F22 lights. Aputure moderator says to wait for more info since I got 7 of them. Should I keep and hope? I would keep and hope. I have a feeling that there's going to be something good for that. I know people who have been testing and using them, and they're much, much better. Yeah, just stay tuned. Stay tuned. And I think they're making an announcement Monday. I think it's right. Tyler says, Justin, I'm willing to bet they send replacement units to early adopters. I'm sure hoping for that. I don't know for certain, but knowing Aputure, I think that's probably going to happen. Yep, differences on the Ultimats with the outputs. The quality is the same on both units. Yep, thanks. Yep. So I would get the 4K Ultimats. Not too much more. It's far more future-proof. Yep. It is 4K. Well, I mean, it's more than double the price, but it does have a ton of inputs, and it's definitely more future-proof. I agree with that. Grip Tip Stream is coming in strong. Did you switch back to OBS? Yes, I'm on OBS right now, but my overlay chat is being a pain in the rear. I don't know why. Camille says, thanks. You probably said thanks for something like an hour ago. This is so weird. I'm hoping Blackmagic will someday come out with an ATEM mini hybrid. 2 HDMIs. Yep. I talked about that with Blackmagic as well. and they will. I mean, think about it this way. They're milking the money. So we're going to sell a whole bunch of SDIs. Then when that slows down, then we come up with the hybrids. And then when that slows down, we start coming up with the 4Ks. And then the 4K SDIs. And then the hybrids. It's called money. Fingers crossed for NABE, but no, it's a pipe dream. I don't think it's that much of a pipe dream, actually. I thought you'd choose a set of Pancros. No, that's a little too much money that I'm interested in spending right now. Harrison says, love the dog shot. Yep, this is the puppy cam. This is my bud right here, and he's a stuffed animal. He doesn't move. But fun fact: when he turns on his back, start the timer. You get 60 seconds on the clock, and if he rolls over before 60 seconds, you don't win anything. But if he exceeds 60 seconds, you win nothing. But he exceeded 60 seconds, so there's that. Rex laying there, the bottom line is we need to get a dog for protection. If someone breaks in, yeah, this dog will be like, what you got there? What you got? Hey, you got something for me? He's too relaxed to be. He's a good guard dog, though. He lets us know when there's anything happening on our property. And we're in the middle. The house and the studio is in the middle of a forest, and there's a long driveway that is offset, so you can't see the house from the road. We can't see the road. It's all by design. And he moved. Let me get the marionette strings. Oh yeah, he moved. But he can hear when someone hits our driveway. He knows the sound of tires on our driveway, and starts barking and letting us know. It's kind of cute and adorable. And then if anybody's come to the house, he'll go out, find where they got out of their vehicle, trace the steps over, and then immediately find the package, whatever it is that got dropped off, and start barking at us. It's kind of adorable. He's adorable. Justin says on the Ultimate, it's the outputs that are important, especially if you're using them inside Unreal Engine. Being able to separate them is everything. That is a good point. And if you are using it for Unreal, yes, that is a very, very good point. Really? Did you just move over? Now I have to move the... Really? I have to loosen this now? Y'all can see I'm wearing pants today. It's cold. Let's just kick that over. There you go. Let's see here. Advice on 600X versus 600C. It's hard to find direct comparisons upgrading from a 300X unit and would prefer color, but I also need more output. It is a very, very timely question that you have asked, and I will have the answer for you soon, very, very soon. We will be digging into this one deeply. I'm excited about this one. Also, there is another light that I will be digging into very shortly, the Pro Light. And so I will be able to answer some questions on that one very soon. But the basic point is that 600C is close to the X, but the X is brighter. I like the color option myself. Going from a 300X to a 600C, you're going to see an improvement in brightness, and you're going to have color. But it's always tough to to decide, where you want to be there, because going from a 300X, the 300D Mark II is almost twice as bright. Going from a 300D Mark II to a 600X, it's about the same brightness. Going from a 600X to a 600D, it's about 2 times as bright. So each one of these is playing with you. It's tough. It's not easy to make that determination, but hopefully I will have some real world answers for you here in the next few weeks, definitely before NAB. And then I don't normally do comparisons on my videos. I did it once. I didn't like it, but I did it. In this case, I probably don't have a problem with it because it would be the same brand. So it's not really, you're not putting one brand against another, because I want people to make, I want the reviews to stand on their own, and I want people to make decisions based upon the information and what they see, not a direct comparison. Because when you start A-Bing stuff, personal bias shows up no matter how much. I mean, if I just loved the ProLight over the 600C, no matter what I saw, it's kind of a hard way to do it, but I mean, there's going to be a bias in there. There's nothing you can do. If you fall in love with something, then it affects you. So that's why I try not to do A-B comparisons on my reviews. But in this case, the same brand, so it's not really an A-B comparison. It's just a stepping stone. So I think it'll be all right. Balling out for at least some CP3s. I'm not familiar with the quality of the DZO. They really weren't that bad, King. I was kind of impressed with them. The Sigmas look better. They do, but the price of the Vespids was kind of cool. But the look of that Cata Ace, it's pretty nice, especially for the money. For 10 grand, you get a set of 3 full frames. Oh man. Hello, Luca. How are you? Harrison says, first time catching your stream live while it's happening. Great channel. I thought I said Camel. I always enjoy your videos. Great insight and reviews. Well, thank you, Harrison. I appreciate that. What camera brand should I buy today, and what camera brand should I buy day after NAB? Buying a camera brand, I mean, the truth is, Justin, you're invested in something already. And unless you hate whatever it is that you're invested in, you're likely to not switch brands. I mean, we're human. That's kind of how we work. So when you say, what brand should I buy today and what brand should I buy the day after NAB? I mean, what you're really asking is what kind of cool cameras are we about to see at NAB? I don't know the release dates for certain on a few of these cameras, but I have a feeling that we're going to see 1 or 2 pop up just before NAB. You'll see 1/3 pop up like the Saturday night before NAB probably would be. And then there might be a couple of stragglers that don't quite make NAB. But yeah, I mean, brand depends on what you're invested in. Radio silence on the LPL mount Sigma full frames release date. Yeah, for future proofing, I think it's a good idea, but found nothing. I mean, it's a tough one. It's I don't know when, but maybe NAB, maybe. I mean, NAB is looking to be a big event this year, which is what some manufacturers really need. Other manufacturers are completely done with NAB. So it's possible they're all going to enjoy a nice NAB2 release. Blackmagic and Sony. So immediately, Justin, I would say, what lenses do you have? What lens mounts do you have? And what do you like and dislike about them? I mean, I know Blackmagic has got something coming. What I don't know is the reality of the claims. So we'll see. And Sony's going to be Sony. So they're going to release what they're going to release. And I don't think they're going to release, not going to release anything small at NAB. And they may not release anything, but I think they're going to release some middle of the road stuffs. Is that the best way to say it? It's going to be interesting. There's going to be a few more hands-on on some certain equipment at NAB or after NAB, so there will definitely be more information out there on it. So interesting, the number of people that join the chat and then don't join. Like, it was like 28 a second ago, and now it says there's 17. I don't know. It's really weird. And there's only 4 likes. 4. I think there's only 4 people out there. It's only 4 likes. It's so sad. Look at Rex. He looks sad, doesn't he? I can't even point. Look how sad he looks. He's like, nobody likes me. Let's give a like for Rex. Rex, you want them to give you likes? Yeah, you want them to give you likes? Them. Yeah, you give them likes? Yeah. Look how sad he looks. He's like, Sarah McLachlan starts singing, in the arms of the angels. Oh, look at that. I bored him. Matthias, hey, how are you? I decided to buy a V-RAPTOR, but hesitant to do it now. Possible financial crisis on the rise, NAB around the corner. Financial crisis is real. Who knows what it will do? The U.S. government seems to be hell-bent on propping up banks, which means there's no fallout for making mismanagement decisions. So, the banks are now, they can do whatever they want. I don't know. That's not political. That is a financial statement. But I don't know. I don't think the financial crisis is going to impact whether you can use a V-RAPTOR or not. If it does, you're not marketing yourself that well, because when economy goes down, that's when they need advertising more, because you need to get people back in buying. Lucas says, I bought the 24-70 RF at 2.8. Not bad on the Raptor with IS. It's cool for grabbing fast street shot. I'm now looking for an IR-ND circular, not a VND. Any suggestions? I love Firecrest. I really, really love. I think they're great. If you're just looking for a screw-on, you can look through Breakthrough Photography. Their screw-on filters are really nice. I think the Firecrest is a global standard at this point, and it's an IRND. I I have screw-on Firecrest. I have 4.5 by 5 or 4 by 5.5 of Firecrest. I like them. They're really, really good. Justin says, Sony will release a new FX9 because it needs a new update. This is true. Blackmagic will release a box camera with an 8K sensor, full frame. I don't know about the box part. I had a nice conversation. Kevin says, I'm still here. Well, thank you, Kevin. 5 likes now, says Luca. Oh, sorry. Hey, Jared. How goes it? Let's see. Yeah, see, I had to scroll up and then scroll down to get to the comments. That's just so weird. Matthias says, true. Yes. And if you didn't catch it earlier, the V-RAPTOR Black is only $17,995. It's an incredible price. They got the price even cheaper, which is kind of awesome. King says, my end shows 2 likes and one is mine. Yeah, on the client, you have to refresh the entire thing, which is silly. On mine, it shows up occasionally whenever it feels like it. Tokina makes a circular. I have the 4x5. Yeah, Tokina's IRNDs are good. I don't dislike them, but I find them to be a little green. And I don't know if people weren't seeing it and then I pointed it out and then they started seeing it, or if they just like heard it and then now couldn't see it or what. But I showed it to a couple of friends who had them. I said, compare this. And they're like, oh, yeah. I'm a big fan of the Firecrest, but there's a lot of really good IRNDs nowadays. I love Tokina, but I don't think I would grab their IRNDs first. It's not my first choice, but if you get a good deal on them, maybe you can color out that green there. Let's see if I can scroll down. See, scrolled up and scrolled down. This plugin was working great last week. Now not working. Yeah, I have a drop money frames. That's good. Blackmagic says there's no need for a box camera. Filmmakers Riot. Yeah. Yeah, I had very long conversations with them about their big giant football potato cam design and how it just they need to do something with that because it's not catching on. It's so inefficient is the right thing. It was fun though, because I mentioned a few problems with Resolve to him, but I started off the conversation with, first, let me congratulate you on seriously kicking ass in the last 2 years in so many ways, well, 3 years really, in so many ways, starting with Resolve, taking it like way to the next level. So much so that I switched almost 2 years ago now. No, 2 years ago. Almost 2 years ago. Basically 2 years ago. And I love it. I love how much that they, like every little update, they're putting out new stuff in there. It's really cool. And then also I talked about their ATEMs and such, and congratulated them and said, you guys are doing really good stuff. I said, but your cameras really, really need some work. And I went through my history with Blackmagic, and it was interesting because it was not disagreed with. Yeah. Question about the Aputure Infinity Bar. Can you only connect 2 side by side, or can more to make a panel? So you can do as many as you want. So I just literally have one here charging. So that's why I don't always keep an Infinity Bar right next to my. These connectors right here, they can go in, well, oh, I thought I actually had one. I was going to laugh. I do have one. I do have one. It's right. Hold on. Let me get it. I had it out. I was just laughing, looking at it. And it was on my desk, so I was, of course, playing with it. Did I just kick that camera? I did, didn't I? Where is it? Oh, is it over here? I'm just walking around. Just walking around. There it is. Okay. Did I screw up the dog shot? There you go. So these infinity bars, those are your connectors right there. Boop. And you can install them this way or this way, and you can link as many as you want. You can link it so that it comes off this way, like this, and then come down, and then go up, and then come down and go up. You can go back and forth. You can build a whole big snake of them. Now, what's interesting, though, is you're going to need to, because it will be linked here, and this one will be linked here, but it won't be linked here. So it can kind of accordion out if you don't have some type of other mount, which you would want to use, which I didn't bring, which is the back pins to help with a frame on that. But yeah, these you can link as much as you want. And the cool thing, so they have the power right here. So you could plug in power there. You could technically plug in power right here. And then there's another down here. You could plug in power right there. So you could plug in power anywhere along the path. So if you have a bunch of these all tied together, and you're using them in a certain way, then you don't have to follow the guidelines of how many power adapters Aputure says to use. Because they'll say one power for two 2-footers, one power for one 4-footers. However, if you're using the 4-footers and you're not using them at 100%, then you don't have to use that many. So basically, link them all together and start plugging in power adapters. Get it to where you want, get the settings to where you want. They will flash on you. So the light will be outputting, and then it'll start flashing. When it starts flashing, that's telling you I'm not getting enough power. Even though it has a battery, it's telling you I don't have enough power, so plug in another adapter. And then it just ejects all that down the line. It's awesome. It's really, really cool. I really think that. Thoughts on the, okay. Samuel, I'm going to give some tough love here, and I've made no bones about this. I'm not going to compare it to the Raptor, and I'll explain in a minute. I'm going to speak on it separately. The Ursa 12K is one of the, man, call it a baby ugly. It's one of the ugliest images I've seen in a long time. When you're shooting it at 8 and 12K. If you're shooting it in 4K, it's actually not a bad camera because you have all of those pixels making the 4K image. They do some strange things with their pattern of their photo sites, and it's quite ugly. Like, go find an actual direct image from 12K and pixel peep. And Jared's over there going, oh God, pixel peepers. He loves pixel peepers. When you dig in, I mean, you are literally looking at what appears to be the pixels of an iPhone. It looks that extraordinarily mediocre. If you're going to buy the 12K to shoot 12K, don't. If you're going to buy an 8K camera, buy an 8K camera. The Ursa 12K does not make a very good 8K image. If you're going to buy 4K, then buy the G2, but that's about to be replaced too. Now, change the subject. V-RAPTOR is a whole completely different level of camera. First off, when you pixel peep, it actually looks pretty good. Secondly, you have options on V-RAPTOR with Super 35 and VistaVision. You get compressed true raw, truish raw. You get, in other words, with the Ursa 12K, if you're shooting in the Blackmagic RAW, you can shoot Blackmagic RAW on the 12K, right? I feel like you can. If you're shooting Blackmagic RAW, if you cannot take this pixel on your raw image and determine what the sensor was actually reading, it's not possible, because they have to avoid patent infringements, they have to change something in the path. So they have to unraw it. So they do some type of bake-in with their bearing. They're baking in some part of the debearing into their Blackmagic RAW. So you're not getting a true RAW. Now, let's push Blackmagic to the side. V-RAPTOR, if you're at the Super 35, you're at like 16 and a half stops of dynamic range. If you're the VistaVision, you're up there. You're actually a lot higher than what a lot of people see. And people say, oh, well, usable dynamic range. Okay, everyone is going to denoise a little bit here and there. So if you denoise, yeah, you got a lot of stops of dynamic range. You've got well over 17 on VistaVision. You've got 8K, 120 frames a second. Phenomenal. You've got extraordinary amount of sensor option. You can shoot in lower resolution. You can shoot in different bit rates for the compressed RAW. It's all compressed RAW, and it looks good. I mean, the other thing. I mean, look at the price of the Ursa 12K. They've come down in price because they're not selling. There's a reason. Now with the Super 35 V-RAPTOR, with that $17,995 price, which is extraordinary, there's nothing on the market that gets anywhere close to it for 4 times the price. There's nothing. It's kind of amazing. No, oh man, look at all these. There's a like for Rex. Woohoo! Hey, Eric. How are you? Eric, if you still have your Mavic 3, there's a guy in chat that may be interested in it. Let's see here. Let's see. Any contacts at Red to get you to test their Komodo monochrome? I think you'd be the first. I see no. Well, I mean, it's been tested quite a bit. I know Jared's been testing it quite a bit. I mean, yeah. I mean, I would be happy to test it, but I mean, I'm not going to ask. It's cool. It's unique. I think monochrome is wild. It's wild because people. It's so not normal today that people are kind of drawn to it, and I completely dig it. But I mean, it is. Harrison says, that is awesome. The Infinity Bar looks like a good and versatile lighting. It is a good and versatile. It's heavy. Don't get me wrong. It is a heavy son of a gun, but it is literally built. I mean, it is solid. I mean, the plastic is not literally built like a tank, but I mean, everything else about it is wild. Plus, the magnets are a lot of fun. I love playing with these magnets. One day I'm going to build me a catapult out with those magnets. See how many Infinity Bars it takes to catapult. All right, let's see here. Let's scroll up and scroll down. Yep, there's tons of. Look, RS also gives us more options on vintage lens and autofocus. It's cool. Yes, RF. Getting the mirrorless mount allows you to adapt to so many, and it's pretty cool. Jared said, Strum, I know someone that would probably loan him a monochrome if he wanted. Okay. Someone's selling a Mavic 3. Yes, Eric is selling his Mavic 3 Cine. So if anybody is looking for a Mavic 3 Cine, Eric Kessler, he's on here. Eric, howdy. Say howdy. Say something more, or maybe he has, and my chat won't scroll up. But yes, Jared says ask. Okay, Jared, may I please borrow a Komodo monochrome for some fun testing and funness? There you go, Harrison. That is okay. Justin said I saw that the Infinity Bars, I saw the same thing. And I got to tell you, when I got the package of these, it was no joke with the weight. I was like, really? I put them over there. I had to move things around. I'm shooting the behind the scenes of the how I got the shot for the Gone in 60 Seconds intro. Also, I've been shooting a ton of stuff with the Raubay orbit rig. Also, the Kessler. The name it completely vanishes. Power block, really cool motor, which has now powered the Raubay Orbit 360 rig, which I'm not going to say I pulled it off perfectly, but I made Cynthia into a Bayhem hero shot badass. Well, she did all the work. I spun the rig. It was kind of fun. Yeah, those Infinity Bars are very, very heavy. I want to start working out, I guess, for sure. I can see that. Sorry, let's see here. Justin says, I have 2 PB12s in this week, and they are chunky things. I was slightly disappointed with the total light output. Interesting. However, I have not used them at all yet. Just turned them on. What output were you? So the white is much brighter than like the individual colors by a lot. But I'm interested in what you were hoping for. Not at all saying anything negative about that, but I mean it's a battery operated light that puts out quite a bit. The PB12s are I don't know why they came up with these names. Oh, I get it now. International. It's meters. I was thinking it was like they should name them like in inches, but 1.2 meters makes total sense now. Yes, PB12s. They should be fairly bright. Are you sure they're on unlimited output? Because I think mine came with the was it the 2 hour or the 2 hour setting or the, hold on, let me turn this on. Is it going to turn on? Do I even know what I'm doing? Come on, turn on, there we go. Because there's a setting on here. Boop. Yes. So system effects, yeah, go out of there. And we're going to go to the runtime, which as soon as it gives me an overhead and I zoom in, that's a dog. There's a little bit of wiggle there. There we go. So the runtime, if you choose the runtime, you can choose from standard, 2, 4, 6, and 8. Mine were not set to standard; they were set to 2, which will actually limit your output a little bit too. So check that and make sure, because that could have an effect. Oh, that's still setting from the when I was demoing that. Interesting. Nope. Well, but I'm definitely interested, Justin, if you want to go into more detail under that. Okay. Woo. Trying to decide if I should sell my Epic Dragon and Helium Ranger for a V-RAPTOR XL VistaVision. My thought, the Dragon, it'd be nice if I brought myself back to reality, because I'm just sitting here just twiddling my hands on the camera. I don't know that the resale value of the Dragon is worth selling. It's kind of, it's at that point now where it's like, keep it, because it's a good camera. The Helium Ranger, you should be able to do okay with. And then the V-RAPTOR XL is $34,995, I think. And that's, I mean, if you love the Ranger, then you'll love the XL. It is a well-crafted housing with all the bells and whistles that you're used to. But then you get the, I mean, going from Helium to V-RAPTOR, boy, are you going to fall in love with the dynamic range on that. Jared says, Mavic Cine is awesome. Hats off to DJ on that one. I guess Kessler's spoiled by his rocket-powered flying things. He, the one he got, so he upgraded, and he got the one that has the cooler cameras on it. It's quite cool. Let's see, Justin. I'm not sure if they are on that. I just chose 5600 and turned them on for a few minutes. Need to charge them. They were plugged in. So if they're plugged in, they should be outputting. Well, but they can still. That setting does affect them when plugged in. But do check that setting and make sure. Just, I mean, it'd be awesome if it was something silly like that. But yeah. Let's find out. Let's see. Lucas says, how is the RF3518 IS working on Komodo and Raptor? I may buy it for fast read. I don't... what? I have not used that lens. My RF lens usage is only about 4 5 lenses on that. But I imagine, Jared, you've probably used the RF35. What's your opinion on that one, if you have or have not, and you wish to share? What is it? Okay, hold on. I have to be a dad for a moment here. It doesn't drop. If I have something plugged in, usually no power. Oh, if All right, so let's see here. I'm like, I'm like can't. I'm like gun shy here on the gun shy. Probably poor choice of words today. On my chat here as to whether or not it is live or not. There we go. Let's see. Let's see here. Hey Jared, have you compared? I've seen footage in ProRes from the Cine and the H.265 side by side, and it's almost impossible to tell the difference. It was. I think the H.265 codec there's the amount of bitrate that they have is phenomenal on it. Any ideas on the Amaran P60C? Doesn't seem like to have an aperture. It doesn't, mostly because the Pro line are not looking at small output devices. They have some, but those are like very specialty use cases, and like a 1x1 panel is not something that is typically used on set too often. Probably why we don't see a fabric or a aperture version of the Amaran flexible mats currently, for that reason. Sorry, I have a friend, and I'm basically her dad away from dads, and so she had a couple of questions. Yeah, I have not heard of any conversation about even considering a 1x1 aperture panel, because they have the Nova 300, which is basically a 1x2, and there's a lot of those. There's a lot of people using those. Mitchell says, we use the Aladdins at the moment, but they are outrageously expensive. Agreed. Luca, Jared says, R35 is awesome, super sharp, and you can get nice and close for the street. Well, there you go. So it sounds like Luca might be a nice little match. And he's probably tested it with every RF red. The RF35 is now on the compatible list for Komodo as well. Ooh, very cool. Very cool. Let's see here. I'm so easily distracted. Isn't that today? Everyone, the society today, everyone's distracted. Ooh, I'll probably GDU the 35 millimeter next. Interesting. That would be a fun one, and it would fit nicely in between the 16 and the 50. Man, this weird plug-in. I don't know. I feel like unless I have guests on. Ooh, I gotta speak about the guests too. The cool guests. Nice, I love 35 millimeter focal length. Thank you. Yep. So yes, while at South by, I spoke to a couple of DPs. So we have, I don't know why every time I go to say his name, I say it wrong. Robert McLachlan, ASC, also CSC, right? I think he is. But he was the DP Game of Thrones, also with Westworld. Really long career. I spoke to him at South by, and he's very, very happy to get on the live stream as a guest. And we'll have a fun interview with him. I have to set that up and figure out, because he was literally supposed to shoot something and then it got put on pause. And are we dropping frames? Am I back yet? Am I back yet? There, I'm back yet. Okay. Oh, that's a weird pause. Stop dropping frames. Stop dropping frames is like stop, drop, and roll. Okay. So we will have Robert McLaughlin. I'm sure it's McLaughlin. Why I can't pronounce it right. On. We have, sorry, I need to pull up my notes here. We have Andrew Barrera, who is a DP in Austin area, but he's just kind of a badass. And he shot tons and tons and tons of stuff that is just really cool stuff, like a lot. He will be on. And then Andrew Baird is a DP out of Austin. Also shot some really, really good stuff. And he's going to come on. So we get lots of guests here, working our way up to the top, working our way up. One day we'll have all of the best. We'll have collected them all on the wall. It'll be like one of those diners that just everybody... Oh, what's up, Andrew? I was just talking about you. Yes, Andrew is going to be on the live stream, but I don't know when yet. We got to figure out a Friday to do it. You got to let me know. But yep, him. Pretty funny, very timely too. That's hilarious. Let's see what else was going on. South by was interesting. I definitely. What the heck is all that? I very much love the networking that happens at big long events like NAB, Cine Gear, and South by. So there was a lot of networking, a lot of fun. Ooh, okay, we'll do. That sounds like a fun little adventure. Yes, we can do that. We can do that. Phil, hey Phil. Jerry, the RF3518 and 85F2 are bangers, and the bonus of macro. The 85 would be fun too. I do like the 50 quite a bit. The 16, I mean 16 is a 16. It's hard to find. The wider you go, the character gets lost, even though you create new character by how it distorts. It's the 50 you really see it. 35 you can really start to get character. 85s, oh yeah, you totally get character out of that. I'm interested in the 85 F2. That would be a fun one to shoot. That would be a big GDU lens, wouldn't it? Let's see. Oh man, here we go. Okay. Yeah, see, I just have to keep refreshing this. Okay. Agree with the H.265 quality is great. ProRes still easier to edit. Yes, exactly. If you're on the Max. See, the H.265 for sure has a penalty on the Mac, but like my M1 Max, that penalty is only when I push play, I get like a quarter to half a second pause before it starts playing. And believe me, with my OCD, it's killer. Where you don't get that with H.264 and you don't get it with ProRes. But you can stack a bunch of H.265s and it's still that quarter to half a second. So I don't feel it's too horrible. D-Log really unlocks the image, but at the same time, some of the LUTs break it very well. Interesting. So there you go, Justin. There's some more from people who know, who own that. Yeah. Harrison says, I found myself shooting H.265 versus ProRes because you lose active track in ProRes. I don't see the image quality loss at H.265. I flew the Inspire 2 before a tree took it out. Right, the tree took it out, right? R.I.P. Inspire 2. That's the old comedy thing. I was driving along and all of a sudden this dog came out and bit my car. How do you like the photography of James Freen, All Quiet on the Road. I haven't watched it yet. It's on my list. I have not watched it. I need to watch it. Definitely getting a lot of buzz, and I've been out of watching a lot of movies lately. And South by has definitely got me reinvigorated and excited about some things. Oh, well, Rex is like, he's ashamed of me. He's like, I can't believe he doesn't watch movies. Calls himself a filmmaker. 85 GDU. Yep. Jared says 85 F2 is superb, but the 85 1.2 is a whole new world. Yeah, I mean, I can imagine that. I mean, that's a different class of glass. On the GDU, eventually, will it be with IS? Love the IS for video. Yeah, they don't change the internals on those. The only thing they do is take off the switches, the external switch. They're on the other side of the studio. So that is all menuable. So I would imagine it would have it. Tim says Rex looks comfy. Rex is still ashamed that I haven't seen All Quiet on the Western Front yet. We're finishing up. I watch this way too often, but we're rewatching Justified again because I feel like for writing, Justified it's very, very good. We're almost done with Justified again. Yep, the RF 1.2 primes are currently top dog optically, but we need more than a 50 and an 85. I agree with that. And they've never done it. They've never made another. Well, they did. They did, didn't they? But it was like long time ago. 1.250 is slightly ahead of the Zeiss Otis 55. And the 6 Sigma 50 that is interesting. RF 85 1.2 or the DS version. I don't have an opinion because I have not shot on either of those. Well, look, the IS on the lens, not the camera. So if the lens it goes to the camera, but the camera can't turn it, can't add it. Right. At least we don't. So if the lens is IS, I was like, what is, if the lens is IS, it goes to camera, but camera can't add to not right. Yeah, the image stabilization is in the lens itself where it is vibrating and centering up the element, usually one or two elements in there. And so GDU, they're basically stripping the outside and putting on an entirely new case on there, which makes it rugged as heck. Only things that are close. Are we going to see new Canon Cine line with RF glass inside? What do you guys think? I have no idea. I have no idea if we're going to see something like that or not. Can you recommend a good entry-level cinema lens kit like DZO? I like IRIX a lot. The only negative with IRIX is they don't have a complete line yet. They're 30, they're 45, they're 21 are gorgeous lenses. Their 150 is not bad. The DZO, I am fairly impressed with the Vespids. I really liked the look. I also liked the Cata Ace. Really impressed with the Cata Ace myself. That was from a recent shoot. So the Mikeys, I'm okay with it. I would, if you're looking for zooms, the Cata Ace is fantastic. And they have a full set for 10 grand now. three different lenses. If you are looking for budget, I'm not a huge fan of the DZO, the Super 35 versions. They're a little soft to me, but they do have character. So if you're super strapped for budget, you could do that. I also love Sigma. Sigma lenses are fantastic, and I think the 18 to 35 and the 50 to 100 are some of the best lenses out there. So, yeah, IRIX is good, just not a full set yet. Miki, DZO Vespids, pretty good. Sigma's really, really sharp, but no character. You have to add filtration to get some character out of that. And then the Cata Ace, I was really impressed with that. Jared says, I'm on the fence with the DS. I feel like I morally shouldn't like it, but I gotta say portraits do look lovely with it. Interesting. Luca laughing. DS is cool, but it gives me very Photoshoppy vibes sometimes. Interesting. Kevin says, we should be seeing a new IRIX soon, 65 to 85 range. That's what I understand as well. But, yeah. Jared says, agree. And Phil's coming in here with some strong rebuttal for Scott. Actually, Scott, for the 8K Super 35 Raptor, really look at the pictors. That's the zooms for DZO. And the Fuji 9 MKs are very nice. Ace are great, but for size, the pictors for Super 35 works wonders. Now, Phil, Cata Ace versus Pictor on same sensor, both whichever, let's say Super 35 and 8K, is the Cata Ace sharper than the Pictors? Now, I will be happily corrected if I'm wrong, but everything I've seen is the answer is no. And the Cata Ace was incredible on the shoot we were shooting on. Fuji killed it with the weight on the MKs, though lightest weight as Super 35 with such quality. If I was shooting, I mean, Fuji's glass is some of the prettiest glass out there. It is definitely, it has its own category of awesomeness. I still think like the 19 to 90 is still one of my favorite Super 35 lenses. It just has such a gorgeous look. Technowar, hey. Does anyone know what's with the Cine D review of the Raptor giving it 13 stops of dynamic range? Yeah, there's a lot of problems with that review. They didn't measure it properly. That's all I got to say. But there are people far more knowledgeable than me who can fully address that issue. One of them just commented. I do not have the level of knowledge that Mr. Holland does, or many people here. But after speaking with several people, yeah, they did not do a very good job on that test at all. Hey, let's all give Scott a like here. Okay, I like that. Don't get me started. I thought so. That's Cine D for you. Word. That's all I got to say about that. Tested the Sigma 65 full frame Cine. I've not used it on a shoot, but I did play with it at Sigma, and it was definitely designed for Cine, and did they even come out with it for? I don't think they came out with it for stills. But the good thing about all the Sigma glass is the Cine and the stills have the same optical elements. So they match, which is very nice. Phil, there you go. Might be time to publish a Raptor 8K VistaVision and Super 35. Yes, Phil, you have the big channel. You'll get bazillions of views. Publish it. Do it. Ooh, Timmy just got a package from Mutiny Goodies. Don't get Graham started. Yes, there's a T-shirt about not getting Graham started. Oh, well, let's see. I just got the GDU lens cap with an AirTag for Raptor. Stoked. Isn't it nice? I love the well, I've got one right here. Love the lens caps. Love it. This one's, of course, not on because there's a lens on it. They are pretty slick and quite useful. And the thing that I like about it, people are like, well, that they know you're going to have an AirTag, they're just gonna ditch the case or they're going to look for it. Yeah, who is going to look for it in the lens cap? That's the beauty of it. Because if you know anything about cameras, you know you need to keep the lens cap on. So if it's on the body and they're stealing and they're going to, oh, it must be in the case, so they throw out the case, they're going to keep the body. So you're going to get to keep it longer. That's my theory anyway. Are CP3 glass the same as CP2? I wonder why CP2 had an option for super speed T5. CP. I don't think it's the same. Phil, can you chime in on that? I thought the CP3 glass was actually different. To me, they look different too. CP2, I'm like the only person on the planet that didn't like the CP2 glass. I'm just not a fan. It looked very stale to me. Phil says, yep, I noticed a few things and chatted with him long ago about the EMA tests and the issues regarding testing method. Yeah. Anybody who has pointed a V-RAPTOR at anything shady and the sun will quickly know that there's not 13 stops of dynamic range there. It's incredible. And it is a lot more than Dragon, and Dragon is well documented out there as having phenomenal dynamic range. Not as good as Monstro, but phenomenal. Does anyone know why Zine anamorphic 50 millimeter is 20K and it's big? I don't know what Zine is thinking on that at all, Kevin. CP3s are essentially rehoused Milvis, which is the next-gen glass for the old ZFZEs, stuff found in CP2s, better optics and coatings on CP3s, and lighter weight. That might be just enough why I like to me, and people disagree with, I feel like the CP2s are flat and kind of low contrast, and everyone says, no, they're the opposite. So maybe my eyes are screwed up. Either way, I don't like the CP2s. The CP3s, I saw some stuff out of CP3s that I thought looked pretty good. Oh, Harrison, agreeing with me on the CP2s. I'm not alone. Okay. Whew. So there's two of us. All right. Cool. Now I understand. Cool. Yep. DSC's award-winning Xyla chart I find is the best for testing dynamic range. Yep. The Xyla chart is good. All right, let's see. I don't even know if the chat is correct or not. Man, I was so off today, too. There's three of us. Three of us out here are really, really... So maybe I'm not off. Maybe, I mean, there's 3 out of, 25 people, but I mean, maybe it's not just my internal brain saying that it's not that great. I find them, they're not quite Rokinon or Zine, but I just don't like CP2s. Just not a fan. Oops, got it wrong. Xyla is a wonderful chart if you use it correctly. And then the patented Phil Holland, even though he didn't technically wink there, I threw the wink in for him. He smiled. How bad is the focus breathing on the CP3s? That's something Phil can answer. Tim's like, I mean, it's just an opinion. I understand. I know, but I mean, sometimes we like to make sure our opinions are not, well, validated is probably the right term, but if you see something and everybody else says, I don't see that, then it's time to adjust what you're seeing. And so you're checking yourself kind of thing. Not that I need validation that they suck. I just need validation that what I see is what I don't like. We could start our own club. the CP Patooties. Oh, Kevin, also not a fan of the CP2. Yes, we're going to have a Facebook group. The not CP2s. I'd rather use Zine. At least they're not boring. Ooh. Super stale. Okay. Cool. Now I feel good now. I feel well. ShareGrid lens tests has all the answers. CP3s pretty much don't breathe much. But they do, and it's not consistent across the set. They focus much more on making them lightweight, shorter, and 95 millimeter outside diameter. Interesting. Ooh, no, that's now you're throwing rocks there, Tim. I think anyone who says they love the CP2s just hasn't really used good glass. We're now up to 5. We can have our own volleyball team. The glass that doesn't breathe is pretty much 114 and larger, heavier lenses. Ooh, there's 6 of us. CP2s are horrible. Kevin likes his zines. I'm apparently in the minority here. I'm not a fan of the zines myself. The zines to me were green, and I'm probably the worst person on the planet to yellows, but I just wasn't truly. What is? Oh, I lost my connection. Weird. I guess I'm back. Oh, I was just singing the praises of the zines. No, I'm sorry. I just was not a fan of zines. They kind of look greenish to me and are just kind of, I don't know. But it's like clothing, cars, watches, phones. I mean, everything. Everyone's got a style that they like, and it's totally fine. Justin says, I'm here just triple multitasking. Multitasking. Rather use the zines over the CP2s. Shane loves the zines and the C-fiber zines. Same. I believe the C-fiber zines are the same, aren't they? I thought they were. I don't know. But does anybody have an answer to why the anamorphic is $20,000 from Zine? I know. What's his name? Joseph Kahn loves zines. He uses them all the time. I don't know, to each your own. Hello, Ollie. How are you? Evening, one and all. If you could foot the cost, Sigma or Tokina for speeds, and I'll throw a demo over to IRIX, but they need more fun. Yeah, I completely agree. I think if IRIX had a full line, they would regularly get you seriously need to look at this set. I think the individual lenses are great. The 30, 21, and 45 are phenomenal. But they don't have a full set, and they need it. They really, really need it. Once they get it, boy, it's going to be fun. Sigma, love Sigma. Tokina, I definitely love Tokina. The only thing I don't like about Tokina is They weigh a lot, but the image is beautiful, and they have a lot of character. Oh, hey George, good to see you, buddy. I did a comparison between the CP2s and CP3s on Raptor, and I didn't want to go near the CP2s after that either. CP3s did seem a little inconsistent, though. Some focal lengths better than others. Interesting. George, man, good to see you, buddy. Per lens, 20,000. Yee. I would take the Zines over the CP2s. You look pro, but you can pocket the difference. But really, I would buy the Zines over the CP2. The client would never know the difference. I don't know, maybe. Jed says, woohoo! Just got my monochrome being sent email from Red. Good start for the weekend. Nice. Oops, skipped over the other king. Thanks, Phil. I need the /MD Sigma set is nice all around, but seem to suffer a lot of breathe. Sigmas can breathe, for sure. And it's hit or miss on them. But damn, they're sharp. I mean, really sharp. If you want the spicy topic, Sigma Cine versus Zeiss Supreme. Tokina Cinema Vista versus Airy Signature. Lights or kook? That's where hard questions are. I mean, yes. All of those lenses are highly rated. All big thumbs up from me. If I had to choose, I was forced. I don't know. It's between the Zeiss Supremes and the lights. I would probably be between those two. I was like, come on, Scott, we're going to make you a zine guy. I don't know who's living the better life, Scott or Rex. Rex. He's a happy puppy. And just wait. Here in the next 20-ish minutes, he's going to get up and come over. He always does. Ollie says, just catching up on the chat, looking for any inadvertent leaks from Mr. Land. I mean, I don't think I've seen anything. Jared, feel free to leak something. Cook all day, Harrison. Interesting. I mean, those the S8s. The S8s are very, very pretty. They're very pretty. The signature primes, yeah. Zeiss Supremes. Man, I'm digging those. Wish I could afford a set of Tokinas. I agree. I want a set of Tokina Vista 1s. Yeah. Bear in mind, you can rent a set of Tokinas from Arri, and they've been modified and rehoused half a dozen times. Yep. Well, yes, they have. And they have been used a lot in a lot of features. They don't get the name because they modify them. Waiting to see the Lights Hugos. Has anyone tried? Not me. Not at all. Out of Phil's group, the only afford is the Tokina Vista. Well, the Sigma. You can afford Sigma. Sigmas are cheaper than the Tokina Vistas. Justin says, Zeiss Supreme, which cooks, but I like the Tokinas. Zeiss Supremes, I agree with you. Which cooks? I mean, I would have to throw the S8s in there for if we're going to do these kind of comparisons. I want that 180. Yeah, the Mr. Holland's 180 now. How much does that thing weigh, Phil? That thing looks huge. Someone convince Panavision to start selling lenses, and then I'll be complete. Well, you can occasionally find one on eBay for a brief period of time before someone goes, pretty sure that's not supposed to be sold. Oh, the VistaVision at 180 looks absolutely beautiful. Incredible subject to separation of draw. I want to see I want to see you do the the your actor that roves around that storage unit full of trinkets and things. That was one of my favorite tests. And I want to see him on the 180. That'd be pretty good. Might be able to afford the Tokina zooms. S8s versus Tokinas is tough. Now it depends on what the client wants for look and feel. Yeah, we've definitely in this category we've achieved we're going to get the best. Now, what's our character? Look at that. He's just living it up down there. Hey, I had a moment. The only Cine lens I have is a Tokina 11-16 EF mount. I picked it up at cost and was sitting in the store gathering dust. It's a fun lens. It's very limited, but fun. The 180 is a bit over 7 pounds. But if you're used to Panavision glass, that's not big. This is true. This is true. Real talk with Phil. Tokina Real Cine Project. Sigma Rehab. So best deal, go on share grind. That'd be funny. Lens test and put them in comparison. Love the test. Yeah. That's pretty cool. So let's see here. Let's see if my chat is, there we go. Oh, the Solaires. Weren't those, the Solaires were the rehoused Rokinons, weren't they? Isn't that, I thought that's what it was. What was the one, Phil, you might remember them. They were purple. They had the purple, they were in like 2018 or 2019 at NAB, and they had kind of a purple accent to them. I'm trying to remember. Yeah. Since Solaires vanished, it's pretty much allowed for the Zine CF to exist, if you know what I mean. Is it true they were Sigma? No. You said it, I didn't know. Not a Zine guy, Sigma, Otis, and Lomos. Oh, but Kevin's grades are fire. Nice. Rehouse slightly modified Rokinon with Sigma on the wide. Hey, interesting. I didn't hear about that on the wide. That is a strange pairing. Huh. But what were those? Crap. They looked really interesting. They were a Chinese cinema glass. I don't know. They had like a name like Safari or something, but they had a light purple. It was light purple. So Jared, you probably never looked at them. Yeah, isn't Masterbuilt lenses? Aren't the Masterbuilts? Yeah, they are. Very similar to Keen outside. Mark Toya loves Solaire. They looked really cool. I had those. Where's those lenses? NAB 2019. Cinema lenses. Let's find that one because I was really interested in those because from the little details that I was able to demo, they looked pretty good. What were they? No, not that. Not that. Someone has to remember. These things must have been garbage if they didn't make the day, and no one even knows what they are. What were they? Not those. I have to go back and watch one of my freaking vlogs from 2018 or 2019. What is that? What is this? Spirit Lab. Yeah, what happened to Spirit Lab? Those are the ones. Kevin says, thanks, Art. It's funny. um, let's see. Talk about the Vespens earlier. Has anyone here used a full set on the VistaVision Raptor? Do they all fully cover or is it even yet? We didn't use them. We used them on Komodo, and they were really nice. But Phil, you should know. Phil should have information on that. You've put the Vespens on your VistaVision, have you not? I have been told that Tokina provides glass for others. Is it true? Yes, it is true. Tokina, for the longest time, just basically provided glass and optics and such for others. They still do. Oh, interesting. Mega vintage look launched at 3 times the price expected. Founded by an ex-Aputure guy. Haven't seen a set in the wild. I have never seen a set in the wild either. There you go. Fully. Let's see here. I'm like the worst live stream host on the planet because I'll easily turn to something. Oh, that is cool. The Share Grid lens library. So you can, wow. So you can just drag lenses in it. That's pretty cool. Is it safe to say everyone here is using Pancro to clean their lenses? Let's see. I love the look of those Hawk Vantage Mini Primes, or with the oval iris. Yeah, those look pretty nice. Aren't they exceptionally expensive, though? Everybody keeps sending me stuff. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm going to fall for that. Thanks, Phil. Great to know. Very, very expensive. Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah. Who was Andrew Barrera? So he was shooting with Hawks, I think is what it was. I don't think he bought a set. Andrew Barrera has like one of everything. He's like the Phil Holland of Austin. I tried to buy, they wouldn't. Interesting. That is a completely fair, and I do like to do a reset every once in a while and just kind of say, what an incredible place we are today as filmmakers to have a huge variety of lenses, cameras, everything, lighting. Everything that used to cost an absolute fortune, there's now an option that's far more affordable and with looks that we can enjoy. The Chinese market on the optics it's been, I wouldn't say maybe it is revolutionary. It's incredible the quality that we're getting now. And I love it. So yes, Harrison, we should all take a minute and recognize that we're spoiled rotten on this. Am I dropping frames again? No. Wow. This has been a major glass revolution era. Okay, so he agrees it's a revolution. We're in the mega anamorphic time. Yes. Yeah, it'll be... Sorry, pre-reading. Jed, Scott, do you have a soft spot, pun intended, for effect filters? Yes, I do. I do honestly happen to love the 2 filters that Revar Cine has put out, the Scarf Dust and the PA Tears. and I used PA tiers on the Gone in 60 Seconds remake, the intro remake. That provided a phenomenal look. It was pretty cool. Fun fact: when I first was shooting with lenses or choosing lenses in there, I had chosen I think it was the 24 to 70. I wanted the versatility. And I said, well, I'm not going to get the close-up macro, so I put a 15 millimeter macro tube on that lens, thinking, didn't do the math in my head very well, thinking that would suffice to give me the range that I was looking for up close. It was so close that it focused on the actual particles on the PA tiers, which cracked me up because I was like, what the hell is all over my glass? And then I realized it was focusing on the particles. Pretty funny. But there is a 20% coupon code down below if you are interested in the PA tiers and scarf dust. And I hear there's another one coming soon. I don't know. But I do like those. I also, I like there's a low contrast filter that I like. That's a, who's the, who makes Firecrest? Those guys. They have a low contrast filter that I really like. There's an HD soft effects from them that I like. And then I like a very, very, very light strength, like a 1/32 or 1/16 of Black Pro Mist. That kind of, I could deal with that. I don't use it so much now, but I do tend to use scarf dust a lot. It's so versatile. China lenses has been very good for filmmakers. Yep. Hey, Johnny, sorry. On the topic of Hawk, they're opening a rental facility in the UK. Pretty excited to see more of them over here. That's very cool. There's not a lot of them to be had in the hand. Now, see, now, all of a sudden the chat caught up. Pretty funny. Let's see here. What was it? There's something like that. Who's my favorite cinematographer ever? I don't have one, and it's. I mean, I do enjoy Deakins a lot. I think he's brilliant. But I can't say he's my. I can't say that I have one favorite. I mean, I like people who push things, and get those incredible looks. Yeah, that's a tough one. It's like picking your favorite movie. Yes, I completely agree. I can say one of my favorite movies is still Close Encounters of the Third Kind. It's one of those that's, I mean, I love Jurassic Park, but to me, it will not hold a candle to Close Encounters. I think Close Encounters was so different at the time. I mean, so was Jurassic Park, but I mean, there's some beautiful, I mean, Spielberg's movies always have really good looks to them. It's true. Yeah, there's too many. Let me, since every name literally disappeared out of my brain, let me look up these so I can say them and admit to how bad I am at names. And now literally every movie has escaped my brain. Let's do this one. Keep going. Come on. Give me. Quit doing it. Yep. Let's see here. Looking for, wow, don't fast forward that far. Oh, I don't want that. God, I hate IMDb now. So bad. Take that one. Okay. Tyler, I hate those types of questions. If you haven't actually thought about it, it's massively overwhelming. It is. It is. It's not fair. I'm going to call one out here as soon as I get the name. Don't know why it's not on my brain, but I loved the look. And the Art says I have both Revar Cine filters, and they're both sweet. On another string, we are shooting mostly Sigma and Otis, rarely, and the Otis rarely see the light of day. Oh, we're shooting mostly Sigma, and the Otis rarely see the light of day. Interesting. And with Sigmas, I mean, having a nice filter is kind of nice. Thinking of selling them, Otis, and getting a set of rehoused Leica R Superchrons for the bridge from Sigma to Lomo. Thoughts? Phil, that's a Phil question for sure. Kaminsky, Bridge of Spies. Definitely loved the cinematography in Bridge of Spies. And a lot of people are like, what? Mm-hmm. Let's see. Who else here? I mean, Dean Kundi is definitely high on my list, just because. Do tungsten and HMI lights still have a place? Well, yeah. I mean, LEDs still do not have the punch. You still can't. I mean, for smaller stuff, it's harder. But I mean, there's no. I guess Mold technically has a 20K LED, but I mean, they're still pulling out 20Ks all the time and shooting with them. So yeah, they have a place. At some point though, we need to make the jump on the wattage of the individual LED. So I think right now we're maxed at 5 watts, I think. I don't think there's a brighter than 5. Was that right? I think so. It was either 3 or 5. I think it was 5. We have to get further than 5 watts, or we have to go to like 15 or 20 before we're going to be able to get the output in a small light. Because I mean, they could make a 20K, but the LED set is going to be like that, and it's not going to be very. You want that pinpoint light. So to get a pinpoint hard light of greater than 5K, you're going to have LED, or you're going to have tungsten and HMI, my opinion. Freddie Young, Lawrence of Arabia, Dr. Shivago, yes. Phil says, tough one, but I do have 3 sets of Superchron R's, and they are gorgeous. Man, I can't pronounce half these names. Darius Conji, Vittorio, man, can't pronounce it. Deacons, Prieto, Richardson, man, but you got a nice list. Hoyt's good. Christopher Dole, Matthew, yep. Kaminsky is splendid. Yes. I mean, there's just there's just some, and it's like Deakins. When you take Deakins and put him in like a completely different that hasn't been done before, and then he turns it into something gorgeous. That's what I like. And Kaminsky with Bridge of Spies, that's what he did. It's gorgeous. I think his fill position is don't sell it. Greg Fraser, yes. Greg Fraser is very good. Also, I like, God, what's his name? I feel so bad now. Super, super nice guy, but he did Breaking Bad's the last season. Michael Slovis, I like him too. But he did El Camino. What was his name? I like him. He's such a nice guy. He's really good. The Batman was unreal. Yep. Darius Gondi, 7. Oh yes, 7 was pretty wild. What is El Camino? What's his name? Somebody's gonna say it before I get to even look it up. Cast, go down, and Marshall Adams, yes. I love Marshall. Really just, Ollie, you got it right when you, right when I said it too. I really love how he's so simple with everything and he makes it beautiful. Also, the Winston Churchill one. I'm such a bad filmmaker. So bad. Let's see here. We'll look up. So I was going to get to it beforehand. The one that had Gary Oldman in it. Okay, we're The Darkest Hour. Okay. Somebody said it yet? No one said it yet? Okay, am I going to get to it first? Who could Google fast enough? Let's see. All cast and crew. Let me just refresh over here. Oh, yep. Yeah, he did. It was 6 o'clock, and he got up and left. That dude knows. I'll tell you what. He knows what time it is every time, and I don't know why. Even time change, didn't miss a beat. Bruno Del Benel, is that the way you pronounce it? The look in that movie, very good. The iron tungsten reacts with the blood in our skin, unlike LED and HMI. We have a lot of 1950s tungsten lights at the studio and rental and fashion shoots. You know, that is an interesting... It's an interesting point, and I learned that from, as a VFX artist, that light penetrates our skin and bounces off like the third layer and comes back out, which is why our skin looks so interesting, is that it actually illuminates a little bit, which is wild, and that's what he's saying there, that, and this is what changed the VFX world, is when they started doing illumination from the bounce, is when they started getting very realistic skin. Jared is dead on, and the key term is subsurface scattering. Thank you. Yes, that for the VFX incline. Yes, that is. I learned that from. Oh God, what's his name? The After Effects guy. Oh man, I'm so bad at names. Don't even ask me a name. I'll be like, "What's your name?" I don't know. That's what's going to happen. I'm going to get old, and I'm going to know everything. I'll be able to tell you the specs of this camera in 1978, but the doctor will ask me, "What's your name?" I just lost my name, and then I'll be committed. It'll be a sad day, and I just won't remember my name. Subsurface scattering. It was oh God, what was his name? I still use tungsten and incandescent. Got rid of my HMIs a long time ago. LEDs are my main jam. Andrew Kramer, thank you, Ollie. Thank you. But only good quality LEDs, really. Yes. I agree with you. I don't have any fluorescent anything. I got rid of my HMIs, and I did keep. I have the one. Was it the R Light 750, the RE Flex? It's the open face that you just put it in a nice soft box. I kept that one because it does have a beautiful look to it. And then I also kept my ellipsoidals because they're like $10, so why not just keep them? And I have a handful of people that still cling to tungsten lights for some shoots for that very reason. LEDs are great for many shoots, but the tungsten glow is hard to replicate. And the other weird thing that I don't understand about LEDs is why they can't travel as far. Everything that my brain says about emitted photons, they shouldn't be different. In other words, a tungsten and an HMI and an LED, if they have the intensity, the light should go the same distance, and they don't. The LEDs fall off. But I have a feeling, for the most part, the LEDs are because they are focusing that to get it within a range, and when you're focusing, it's different. And therefore, that's probably the actual answer, because they're focusing them so that they can get that output up close. Tungsten still renders more color accurately than LED. Yes, tungsten will always. If you have to do product stuff where color matters, tungsten. Yes. Tungsten, well, it's interesting, though. I think, I don't know, that's probably a subject for a big in-depth one, but I think that tungsten is good because it's what we're used to. I don't know if that's entirely, I know that it's got the full spectrum in there, but it's like filmmaking on Mars would look different than filmmaking on Earth, because the color of the sun, the light intensity, the effect with the atmosphere changes everything. Tyler, the RE750 is a great light. It is a great light, which is why I kept it. And I have a ton of replacement bulbs for it. I have a whole case of 75 watt par floods, tungsten as well, for the patented Shane Hurlbut light bar. Tungsten plus skin on Dragon. LED manufacturers are finally publishing SSI specs because the CRI, TLCI are not. Well, it's because you can cater to those. And the SSI is, you're not gonna cheat it. Love that Jared has the time to hang with us mere mortals. He's awesome. He's just a nerd like us. He just likes to hang out. It's kind of fun. He's probably like signing billion-dollar deals while he's listening in the background. Love the SSI video. It actually makes more sense. However, I would need to see more lights included in the comparison. They're gonna start. And you're going to start to see where some are better than others, and vice versa. The only downside of tungsten outside the power draw and the heat is what occurs with dimming. Yes, they do get much, much redder, which is why it's useful to dim with an ND, the dimmer. Well, and something I learned when shooting high speed was even on some of these great LED fixtures, sorry, it is better to dim with the scrim. Dim with the scrim than use the dimming circuits, because you can introduce problems. I made my Batten's lights from Shane. Yep, exactly. Okay, color filters 85, 81, EF. So are they pointless now? For the most part, pretty much. But you're not needing to correct. Now they're stylizing. It would be the way to look at that. That's right. Jared's just like us. Said Brad Pitt walks into his live streams as opposed to a spouse. That's pretty funny. Let's see here. Oh, clear. Man, this. That was weird. That's weird. What is that? Interesting. Okay, so let's see here. I can go for a little bit longer. A little bit. Sorry, I just had to. Squirrel, literally squirrel. There is a squirrel that he climbs down the roof, and he tries chewing to get into the side of the studio, and he sits there and chews. But I've gone out there and I've watched him. He's never made a dent in the wood. He sucks as a beaver. Jed says, "Were you a Final Cut user in 2008?" I was. I was a Final Cut user until they came out with Final Cut X, and when they came out with the magnetic timeline, they lost me completely. I was 2002, I guess, to, when was that time? I still have all the discs for Final Cut Studio. In fact, I still have it installed on the machine. Kind of funny. Yes, I was. Great article titled "Optical Properties of the Human Skin." Worth a read if you're a geeky like me. Well, I will read that. Yep, I left. Magnetic Timeline came too. Yep, I was Adobe Premiere from like the very beginning. It was 94, 95, whatever, somewhere around that time was Adobe, middle 90s. And I used it up until 2000s. Then it was Avid because of ABC. And then I went back to Premiere for a little bit and then went to Final Cut 7, yeah, until the timeline, magnetic timeline. Then I went back to Premiere until 2 years ago when I went to Resolve, and very, 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 very happy. Yeah, the first iteration of Final Cut X. I mean, honestly, Ollie, I bought it when I bought the my MacBook Pro. No, when I bought the MacBook Air. I was so fed up with Premiere that I was either going to go to Resolve or Final Cut, because so many people were talking about Final Cut. Mark Toya just loves Final Cut. And so I decided to give it a shot, and I could not wrap my head around it. It did not click for me. It was so bad, and I see that people just love it, but for whatever reason, it didn't. Resolve on that version, 17, yeah. When 17 came out, it clicked, editing clicked. On 15, did not click. Pretty wild. Final Cut 7 for a year after leaving, yeah. Then left Final Cut Pro, yep. I still use Final Cut Pro 6 of my 2008 MacBook Pro for old titles. Oh, I God. Do you remember you got like 2 DVDs full of titles? Harrison says, "I'm glad I made the stream today. This has been great. Green beer and shop talk. Could think of a better St. Patty's Day." That's true. Yes, I'll be drinking some beer tonight. I just won't make it green. DVD Studio Pro. We used to live like animals. Luca Final Cut Pro 7 until X. The difficult thing is Premiere went stagnant on development and Adobe killed SpeedGrade. That's true. It's a great editor, but miserable for serious color. I never liked the color out of Premiere. I was never happy with color out of Premiere. For whatever reason, Resolve, I could always get something that I liked out of Resolve. And I don't know what that was. SpeedGrade was a little bit easier, but still never the same. Isn't it interesting, though? Like all of the YouTube community, now Apple Shake, I remember that. The YouTube community is all switching to Resolve now. I saw Peter McKinnon switching, and now a bunch of others are immediately following suit. It's like, get on the bandwagon. Resolve rocks. And they're all tired of Premiere sucking. But I had a horrible thought. I had a horrible, horrible thought. And I hope it doesn't come true. I hope it doesn't even see the light of day. I even don't want to mention it because I'm afraid that even that will cause it to happen. But I want to get it out there. I hope Adobe does not buy Blackmagic. I really, really hope. Adobe is so large, I think they could scoop up Blackmagic. And if they did, I don't know what I would do because I would not rent. I would not rent the software. It's just not going to happen. I remember LiveType, big time. Final Cut Pro X was iMovie, yes. Oh, HD Cinewave system, yes. Switched to DaVinci 9 months ago, loving it. Yes, it's really not a big shift. I mean, you still have to Google and YouTube a few things, but I mean, switching over, it was so much better than I thought it was. Apple Shake. Oh man, what are all those? I've got them all. My last one was it 2.0, the whole content creator, or not content creator studio, the something studio plus. It was everything. So much money too. Can someone tell me how I want to grade my videos with the same ease as my iPhone edit standard? Yeah. Loved Shake. Apple should have never killed it. This was when Apple was losing their way. Yeah, they did. I mean, they bought a ton of professional products and then just kind of left them alone. It's weird. Justin says Adobe would never buy Blackmagic. Wait, let me fix that. Blackmagic would never sell to Adobe. They are private, so I guess, well, everybody's got an investor. I mean, never say never. And I could see Adobe, I mean, if Adobe starts tanking, which I believe is coming, well, not tanking, but they're going to lose market share big time. That's when you go and you buy your competition and put them out to pasture. That Peter McKinnon switch video was also, I did appreciate the editor's editing of his own video. It was kind of funny. It's kind of like me on a live stream, really. He's like, squirrel. Blackmagic is very strong in broadcast switchers, et cetera. Do you think we get rid of DaVinci Resolve? No, I don't think Blackmagic would. I think Blackmagic is doing very, very well in the market that they've created and expanding upon. I think I'm very, very happy with them. I told them quite a few things that they need to do with their cameras, including price points and stop trying to mount a 10-inch monitor on everything. And I think, I mean, like the ATEMs are really cool that you can control all the cameras with them. It'd be cool if they could open that up. They're not going to, but it'd be cool if they could open that up to other cameras. But it would also be cool that their cameras, like if you're just going to do like a live stream or a podcast and you want all that power, you don't want to spend $2,000 on a studio version of a camera. Give me a $500 sensor. Just make a simple sensor. If the ATEM Extreme can only do 1080, then give me a 1080 sensor that's $500. That's just a webcam, but it looks like, and you can put good lenses on. That was one of my things. Switch Video was good. Blackmagic designs primary business hardware components, which Adobe doesn't exactly want. It's true, but let's think about this financially for a moment. I don't know. Does anybody know what Blackmagic's value is? Let's say Blackmagic is valued at $5 billion. I don't think they're valued at $5 billion. They might be. But Adobe is at like 20 or 30 billion or something way up there. And if they were to lose $5 billion in market share, or they lose market share, which cost them $5 billion in valuation, then you absorb the $5 billion and now you haven't lost it. Everyone has a price. Yep, very true. And the other thing I learned from business is there is no such thing as a merger. 2 rules with mergers. Number one, one of the companies is always bigger. Number 2, the smaller company will always do what the bigger company says. Adobe still has Photoshop users strong. Yes, but there are others coming in hard and fast. Affinity Photo is pretty good. It's about 85% of a Photoshop, but it's what I'm using now, and I'm not unhappy with it, and I buy it once. Blackmagic Design is estimated at $3 billion. I saw Grant Petty in St. Kilda once, and he was getting coffee. Told me to make an IMAX. Told him to make an IMAX sensor. Oh, because they're debt free. Oh, well, that's good. I honestly, I want Blackmagic to succeed. I want them to succeed in every way possible. I think they're doing good things, and they do play the games in the industry. Everybody does, but for the most part, I think they're serving the community of filmmakers and television and broadcast admirably, as many companies do. And that's all we could really want is, just be fair. I mean, you got to protect stuff. You gotta get your value. You gotta, if you own something, you gotta license it. That's all of that. The Apple and Blackmagic thing. I mean, I get it. Neither one of them wants to give an inch because they both want to win. But I think they both are pretty admirable in the industry. Okay, let's see. If I click down here and I scroll, no other comments. Oh, there's one. There's a bunch of comments coming, of course. Valuation-wise, Blackmagic Design would be less than $1.5 billion today. Adobe's revenue this year will be around $19 billion alone. We need a Komodo-type camera, full frame at a sub 10K price. Well, we want, Justin, we want. Very different size beasts. Yes, they are, which is why one can absorb the other. However, if they are debt-free, then that definitely makes it very difficult for them to get acquired. So that's good. I want to meet their camera designers. I, too, would like to talk in detail to their camera designers. I got close, but not that close. True. Software-wise, I have mad respect for what Blackmagic Design has done for Resolve for the most part. Yes, I think Resolve has been the biggest, I'm going to have to say, gift to filmmakers that we've seen in a long time, because $295 that I paid in 2015, I still get the latest version and it's incredible. Yep. Blackmagic design are awesome. Just give us an add node button. Yes! Yes! Give me an add serial node. That's all I need. And I literally told that to the guy. Blackmagic, I said, you know, if I could just have one button on my micro panel, or what if, and I said, what if you utilize this cool technology whereby you remap a keyboard and then sell buttons? I mean, like the speed editor, I love the speed editor, but there's a whole bunch of buttons I don't use. What if they sold a bunch of keys and then we could just remap it? Why not? Why? I don't know why. It's literally just a keyboard. Why can't we remap it? Need it for VR work, everything else, full frame is far more expensive. Yeah, I got you, okay. She gives some love to Fusion, then we can skip using Nuke. They are working on Fusion quite a bit. I think so. Blackmagic design, sacrifice reliability for price, camera work. Compared to Sony and IRIX, I wouldn't call Blackmagic cameras disposable, but I've also heard of people who can't get theirs fixed because the price is too expensive to fix. So that does kind of make it disposable, which, yeah, it'd be nice if they were a little more reliable for that. Honestly, try rotoscoping in After Effects after using DaVinci now. I had to teach myself rotoscoping in Resolve not too long ago, and it took me a minute to click. What the heck? I wasn't clicking because it just takes simple things. And then what's his name? Casey Ferris. Awesome tutorial today on how to do an animated call-out graphic using Fusion. But he showed me something in there that I had no idea that you could right-click on points and add track mapping to it. I was like, oh, hello. So, yeah, very cool. Casey Ferris watched this video today. When I made the color software at my old studio, color suites weren't exactly around yet. By the time they were 35 to 75. Yep. I'm still using the dongle that came with my 2.5. Yep. Serial button is on the mini. No, not add serial node is not on. Oh, it's on the mini. Yes, it's on the mini panel, not the micro. Yeah, I was like, wait a minute. And that's what I was saying. I was like, I literally just take the screens off. Just give me the panel. It's all, no. Blackmagic bought Resolve and then dropped the price a few times, then made the free version that contributed widely to the growth of color knowledge. Yeah, it's true. They could charge $5,000 and people would consider it today. I agree. High-end 2D, 3D compositing software still has a bit of pricing chaos, though. Yes, the 3D software is interesting, and I think like like Unreal, what they've done is unreal. When you can replace like a Cinema 4D or those with something like that, with that kind of evolutionary jump, that's going to be incredible. Resolve was $5,000 before Blackmagic bought them. I thought they were always $30,000. I thought it was like Blackmagic that you had to buy it with the panels, and the panels were always $30,000. Phil Holland Autodesk Flame is a couple of $1,000s, and I think they're well priced. I'm literally arguing with Scott out loud, like he can hear me. Oh, that's funny. What are you arguing about? What am I wrong? That's funny. Mini panel, yes, mini panel, micro panel. I think they're going to. I think I don't know what they're going to do, but I think they're going to. I have a feeling that it's still not going to have an add serial node. I think their mini panel is great. And I think if it was, I know they dropped the price on it, but if it was, say, $400 or $500 less than it is right now, then they could just sell that. And I mean, the world would be happy. Yeah, the one thing I dislike about the Tours from Above. I was my first NAB. I went to the what was it, the big party, the Super Creators group or something like that. I forget which one it was. It's the one you had to buy a $10 ticket for, and then they raffled off everything all night long. Oh. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I'm still friends with them on Facebook. It's funny. The guy next to me won the full DaVinci Resolve with the panels, the big $30,000 panels. And he just sat there and he was just shaking. And then he went up and they exchanged the names. And he's like, I have to leave. It was just too much for him to fathom. Awesome guy. Never asked what happened to it. Four wheels. Yes, Luca. Yes, that's what I was going to say, was the four wheels. the thing that's missing. Perpetual licenses should remain a thing with modest upgrade fees. I don't have a problem with that. I think if you're doing a major revision, you should get a little bit back on that. Not really into high-ticket annual subscriptions and all that. Adobe's current model makes sense, but not by much. I don't think it makes sense for me. I don't like it at all. And I don't like how they took away Pantone. I know it's a licensing thing, but yeah. It's awesome. Still produced Red City X Pro for the cost of nothing. It's very important to keep that going. I agree with that. And what do we need to do to keep that going? That's a good question. If Jared's still on here, what do we as consumers need to do to help Red City X continue? Love the talk tonight. Thanks, everyone. Have a great week, Justin. Yep, thank you for dropping by. Phil, nothing else compared to a third-party application yet. Patrick, I remember when Alias Wavefront became Maya and went to the PC platform. Game changers. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember that. I think, where are we at? Yeah, we're at 2.5 hours. I think it's a good time to let everybody have their weekend now, right? It's been a phenomenal live stream, a great live stream. Even, is that literally showing up? It is. That's funny. I mean, I wasn't even sure I was going to live stream today. It's been a great live stream. Yes, so, yeah, everybody remember to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And, there's affiliate links down below if you're looking for one of those Revar Cine filters. It's 20% off down below. And the Aputure lights, there's a link down for Aputure down below. And, anything else, B&H, all that good stuff. Support, become a channel member if you'd like to support the channel. We appreciate, and by we, it's my wife and I and Rex. Rex does get bones out of the YouTube payments. Also, if anybody noticed, I did turn off the mid-roll ads that I turned on last week accidentally. The number, just so you know, was 11 cents. So by turning that on, interrupting you every 20 minutes or so, I got 11 cents out of that. So I turned it off on this one. So I can deal with the 11 cents. It'll be fine. Everyone, have a wonderful weekend. Have fun, do fun things, relax, have a good time, enjoy St. Patrick's Day. And as always, as I like to leave it, don't let your passions center around your life. Let your life center around your passions. Bye, Phil. Bye, Ollie. Rex. Bye. Phil says bye, Rex. All right, bye, everybody.